Parents often miss OCD symptoms. They mislabel it as oppositional behavior, difficult behavior, or quirky behavior. I'm going to tell you 10 symptoms to look for when you're trying to spot OCD in teens. Stay tuned, that's what's up next. I'm going to go over 10 behaviors that could indicate possible OCD. Now, this is not meant to diagnose. If you're having even the slightest doubt that your child's behavior could be OCD, go seek a mental health professional. It can't hurt, it can only help. This is only a guide to kind of give you an aha moment to say, wait a minute, that kind of sounds like our kid. So let's talk about 10 of them. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't more, because there are tons, but these are the 10 most obvious things to look for when you're trying to spot OCD. So let's get started. Number 1, do they take forever getting anything done? Now, a lot of kids take forever, and so this could be because they're just slow. It could be because they're lazy. It could be for a zillion reasons, but it could also be because maybe they have OCD. Because OCD slows kids way down. When you have to do things over and over again, and you have to repeat things until it feels just right, or you have to decontaminate everything, or you can't touch certain things, guess what happens? It takes a really long time to get anything done. If you're like, geez, what the heck? Why is it taking you so long to just come downstairs in the morning? You might want to take a second look at what's going on upstairs. Number 2, you want to look at hygiene. Are they excessively washing their hands? If you're not even sure, look at their hands. I can spot OCD a mile away because it looks very, very similar on everyone's hands. It's very red, very chapped. Look at your child's hands. If it's always like that, take a second look at their hand washing. Are you going through a lot of soap? I know that sounds kind of obvious, but you might want to look at that. Are you having to refill your soap way too much? Is your child taking multiple showers a day? Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, some kids with OCD who want to shower a lot and they have a lot of ritualistic behaviors in the shower or in hand washing will ironically avoid it. They will not want to shower. They will look disheveled. They will not want to wash their hands. They will drop a towel and they'll be super messy. There'll be water all over the sink, and that is because they don't want to get into their ritualized behavior, and so they avoid it completely. So they don't shower, because if they do, it's going to take them hours. They don't wash their hands, because if they do, it's going to take them a really long time. They don't touch the towel because it might be contaminated. So you want to look at hygiene, either excessive hygiene or limited hygiene. Now, some people just don't like to take a shower, and that doesn't mean they have OCD. All of these things you have to look at in the bigger picture. I can't tell you how many times kids have come into my practice and the parents have said, Natasha, she's got some quirky behavior. And then I meet the child, and the quirky behavior, it's not really quirky, it's a compulsion. And so sometimes what looks like a tic is really not a tic. Sometimes it's an OCD compulsion. So if your child is blinking in a pattern, tapping in a pattern, doing weird motions with their hands, you might want to look a little bit closer and don't write it off as a tic or a quirky behavior too quickly. Kids with OCD love to confess their behaviors. That is a huge child compulsion when we're talking about childhood OCD. And it's probably the biggest compulsion I see with minors who have OCD. And so if your child or your teenager is constantly coming up to you and saying, Mom, I had a bad thought. Or, when I was 7, I made a really bad choice, and I don't think that was a good thing. Am I a bad person because of that? Or I'm having a really weird thought that I want to hurt myself, but I really don't. Or I want to jump in front of that truck, but I really, really don't, and I'm really upset by that thought. So pay attention to what they're telling you. If there's a lot of bad thoughts and a lot of what I like to call confessional type of behavior, then you might want to take a closer look at that too. Another type of OCD is all about balance, and this is almost always missed by parents. It's a symmetry OCD, and so your child needs to balance out. And so if they tap their elbow here, they have to tap their elbow there. If they grab the cup with the left hand, they have to grab the cup with the right hand. They have to experience things on both sides of their body. This looks different for each kid, and I've never really met a parent who has noticed this. I normally notice it in my office, or the child will disclose this. So pay attention to how they walk and how they move. If you're seeing things being doubled on the other side, You might want to explore that further. Teens with OCD have a lot of OCD meltdowns. Actually, anyone with OCD, well, any child with OCD can have OCD meltdowns because OCD is so stressful and so overwhelming. And so when you interrupt a compulsion and you interrupt someone who's ritualizing, or you interrupt something that is going on mentally in their head, or you touch something and you contaminate it and they have to do everything all over, they are going to freak out and it's going to be a big meltdown. So if you're saying, I don't know what his problem is, he has some intense aggression, intense outbursts that seem unprovoked, you might want to look at that closer as well. OCD likes teens to check and recheck. It makes everybody check and recheck. So if your teenager is having to go back and check something in their bedroom again, and they're having to go back and make sure the doors are locked, and they're going back to the oven to make sure that it's off, or they're going back to their backpack to make sure they have their homework, and they're going back to their backpack again to make sure they have their homework, and they're asking you, did I put my homework in my backpack? And it seems completely irrational. That might be checking, and checking is a key component to OCD. Not only does OCD like us to check and recheck and wash and rewash, but it also likes us to avoid. And so sometimes it's not about what we're doing, it's what we're not doing. So if your teenager is avoiding certain things, avoiding certain places in the house, avoiding certain clothes, avoiding certain spots to sit, avoiding certain tiles on the floor, if they are avoiding certain words, if they can't say certain words and you can't say certain words because you know it's going to upset your child, that's not typical. And so you want to explore that and not write it off as just quirky behavior. Some forms of OCD make teenagers very apologetic, and so they have to apologize nonstop. This is similar to the confessional OCD. So if your child is constantly saying, I am sorry, I'm so sorry, oh, did I upset you? I'm so sorry, and it is excessive, you might want to take a closer look at that too. Lastly, kids with OCD often feel like they have contaminated their clothes, and so they change a lot. And so if you're having a sea of clothes to wash every single day, and you're like, what is going on? Why am I doing laundry like 5 zillion times a day? You might want to figure out, why is your child putting on so many clothes? Why is your child thinking everything is dirty? Now, this is not a comprehensive list of symptoms. There are so many more. I just took some big basic ones that I see in my practice all the time, and I wanted to lay them out for you. So if you are seeing any indications that your child has any of these OCD concerns, go seek a mental health professional and get a full assessment, because OCD is incredibly treatable. And once I have kids in my office, I can make a lot of progress with them. So you want to go seek out an OCD specialist and get them assessed. And even if they don't have it, at least you're being proactive. For more OCD videos, check out my links below, or I have a playlist just on OCD topics, so you can check out that. I'll leave a link at the very end of this video. And if you're interested, you can also look at my OCD class. I have an online parenting OCD class that will teach you how to help your child overcome OCD. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you find the sparkle in everything you do. Don't forget to show me that you appreciate this video and hit like. And don't forget to subscribe, because I come out with new videos every Thursday. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
One, two, three.
Having a child with OCD is not only difficult and devastating for the child, but it takes its toll on the entire family. Watching your child do behaviors that don't make sense to anybody, and not even to your child, can be completely heartbreaking. And most parents don't know what to do or what their role is in how to help. OCD is a really complicated issue, and even a lot of therapists don't understand how to treat OCD. And so as a parent, you might be lost as to where to find support or what you're supposed to do in order to help your child crush their OCD. To make matters worse, many kids hide their OCD from their parents, so their parents don't even realize the extent of the issue.
I know my behavior doesn't make any sense. It's embarrassing. I don't want my parents to know. My parents don't even know half of the rituals I have to do.
Being in the dark is the worst thing for your child's OCD. No parent has to sit idly by, clueless about how OCD works and how they can actually help their child, because OCD is very treatable, and most of the approaches can be done very easily in your own home. I created the online class, Parenting a Child with OCD, to help you understand your child and understand OCD, but more importantly, to give you the tools to actually help your child beat OCD at home. You can take the online class at your own pace. Every lesson is there for you the minute you enroll, and you can go through it as fast or slowly as you want to. You can also view the lessons on any device, so you can watch it on a tablet, on the computer, or even on the go on your phone. And every lesson is short and simplistic, so that you don't miss any concept or idea. Not only do you learn exactly how to implement cognitive behavioral therapy and exposure response prevention techniques at home, but you are given 23 handouts and worksheets that you can do with your child to implement the things that I teach you in this class. The class comes with 39 lessons that cover every aspect of OCD, from the origins of OCD to what themes to look for within your child, how to talk to your child about their OCD, how to talk to their siblings about OCD, and most importantly, exactly how to carry out exercises and challenges that will crush your child's OCD at home. OCD only gets worse as time goes by. Don't waste any more time. You can do things to help your child right away. Take the class, learn the lessons, and implement strategies and challenges at home and start seeing some improvement right away. You know your child the best. You see them struggling. You don't have to feel hopeless anymore. There are skills you can teach them. Let me show you how. You can enroll today at anxioustoddlers.teachable.com.